in New York. This is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight with that unmistakable chill in the air across most of this country. The first blast of winter, millions facing heavy snow and a deep freeze. Dangerous driving from the Midwest to the east and frigid air all the way south to Florida. Wind chills plunging into the 20s and 30s again tomorrow from Minneapolis to Jacksonville, from New York to Boston. Freeze warnings in Florida and Georgia at this hour. Up to a foot of snow falling in some areas, including near Syracuse, New York. Dangerous driving, cars off highways. Snow and icy highways up and down the East Coast. A truck rolling onto its side on Interstate 77. Another frigid morning on tap tomorrow, and then this major change coming. Lee Goldberg has the forecast, and ABC's Janae Norman in the snow in upstate New York tonight.
Tonight, howling winds, whiteout conditions, and treacherous roads. Millions stunned by an early punch of winter cold that's bringing the first major snow of the season. More than a foot of snow and blizzard-like conditions in West Virginia. On Interstate 77 in Jackson County, Eric Ambrose crashed his pickup.
Black truck, kind of similar to mine, started to change lanes, hit the front end of my truck. I hit ice, lost control, went through the median and over the guardrail.
He then watched helplessly as a tractor trailer slammed into the responding officer's cruiser right in front of him. No one was seriously hurt. North of Syracuse, nearly a foot of snow and counting in Central Square, New York. Winds gusting to 40 miles an hour in the Northeast, making it feel even colder from New York City to Philly.
We're sitting at the freezing mark, but look at this deep area of pink and purple dipping all the way to the south. Yeah, they're at 28 in Atlanta.
That southern cold fueling snow squalls over red trees in Virginia. Winter overtaking fall.
And David, here in the Buffalo area, it's not over just yet. Up to 5 more inches of snow expected through tomorrow morning, along with that cold, David.
Janae Norman, who made that trip down the thruway from Syracuse to Buffalo today. Janae, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our New York station, WABC. Back with us tonight. Lee, we can hear the wind on your mic.
Oh, David, that cold wind is still cranking here in New York. We saw our first flakes here as well, and that cold is here tonight, although the core is lifting out. But after record-breaking temperatures in the south this morning, we'll still have some warnings, cold weather warnings in Georgia and into Florida. It'll still feel sub-freezing. Wind chills in the 20s from the Great Lakes all the way into the Northeast, and the lake snows continue. After a foot of snow in some locations, an additional few inches in upstate New York and into northern New England. Then the lake machine will start to shut down. Then we watch the warmth out west. 10 to 20 degrees above average. It starts to spread east into midweek, and that chill is erased. By the time we get in the late week, 70s in the middle of the country, all the way down to the south in the 80s. Just the Northeast remains below normal. David?
Lee Goldberg back with us tonight. Lee, we appreciate it. The weather and the government shutdown combining, anger and frustration tonight at America's airports. The longest government shutdown ever, day 43 now. 8,000 flights canceled in just a matter of days. More than 1,200 flights canceled today alone. Tonight, the FAA says this will continue, even with the House set to vote tomorrow. Angry passengers venting tonight, and President Trump now taking aim at some air traffic controllers who are not getting paid, not showing up for work. Many say they've had to get other jobs, driving Ubers for one, just to get dinner on the table. Here's Gio Benitez.
Tonight, an end to the government shutdown finally in sight, but its shockwaves still rippling across the country's airports after 8,000 flights were canceled since Friday, leaving many passengers stranded.
I will never travel again. If I travel again, I will drive.
In Chicago, Clinton Bradley would rather rent a car than risk his flight getting canceled for a third time.
If they cancel again, then I'm just waiting around all day and I can drive there in 8 hours.
Today, another 1,200 flights were canceled because of weather and air traffic control shortages, but Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says a lot more air traffic controllers are now reporting for work.
Well, I think our air traffic controllers are seeing an end to the shutdown and feel more hopeful.
Air traffic controllers have worked a month without pay, some taking second jobs to make ends meet. President Trump says he'll give a $10,000 bonus, but only to controllers who worked through the shutdown.
The ones that stayed, of which there were a lot of them, I'm sending them a $10,000 bonus.
Where's that money coming from?
I don't know. I'll get it from someplace.
But the president has demanded all air traffic controllers get back to work, threatening to dock the pay of those who don't. Today, the head of the flight attendants union accused the president of being out of touch.
Not only is it disgraceful,
It is another way that we are making it unsettled for these air traffic controllers who have worked through this miraculously without getting paid. It also shows that the president does not understand where Americans are, living paycheck to paycheck.
And David, the FAA had said it would cut as much as 10% of flights by Friday. We're told that's still the plan until air traffic controllers get back to work. David.
Gio Benitez back with us here. Gio, thanks. Tonight, with this shutdown ongoing, members of the House have been told to return to Washington tomorrow after 53 days in recess. Those members of Congress did get paid during this shutdown. The key vote now tomorrow on what the Senate has passed. Tonight, some Democrats furious about those 8 Democratic senators who gave in with no deal on extending subsidies to keep health insurance premiums from skyrocketing for millions. Tonight, hear the heated town hall, some Americans asking what was this shutdown for if there was no movement on tackling health care. Here's Rachel Scott.
Tonight, with the longest government shutdown in U.S. history set to come to an end, President Trump declaring victory.
The House is going to vote, and I think they're going to vote positively. I think most people want to see it opened.
After a late night vote in the Senate.
On this vote, the ayes are 60, the nays are 40. The bill as amended is passed.
Tonight, lawmakers in the House scrambling to get back for a vote tomorrow. They haven't had to report to Washington for 53 days and have been paid throughout this shutdown. With flight cancellations and delays across the country, Republicans Rick Crawford and Trent Kelly carpooling to the Capitol, making a quick rest stop in Tennessee, writing on social media, 8 more hours to go. If all members make it back to Washington on time, Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes. Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden riding his motorcycle all the way from Wisconsin. If the bill passes, it will take time for the government to fully reopen. Agencies will have to call hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have gone without pay back to work. The deal funds the government until the end of January, includes months of funding for SNAP, and calls to rehire the thousands of federal workers the president fired during the shutdown. But what it doesn't do is extend health care subsidies, a key demand from Democrats to keep premiums from rising for more than 20 million Americans. In Seaside, California, teacher Brianna Vasquez, a mom of 2, pays a $282 monthly insurance premium. That number now skyrocketing to more than $1,000.
We are planning on nothing happening because I think that's just in our best interest, is to plan as if they aren't going to pass anything.
And at a town hall in Iowa, Republican Congresswoman Marinette Miller-Meeks was asked what the Republican plan is for health care.
We need to bring the cost of health care down. Unfortunately, in 2010, when the Affordable Care Act was passed, the reason why because it may have been 2 years, but
Senate Republicans have promised a future vote on health care, but it's highly unlikely it will pass. And in the House, Speaker Mike Johnson won't commit to holding a vote on health care at all.
I'm not committing to it or not committing to it. What I'm saying is that we do a deliberative process. That's the way this always works, and we have to have time to do that.
And late tonight, Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries calling on Republicans to make a deal.
You now have an opportunity to actually take some action in an area of this healthcare crisis by working with Democrats.
And tonight, the Supreme Court extending an order that allows the Trump administration not to fully or immediately pay out SNAP benefits for the month of November, putting even more pressure on lawmakers to pass this government funding bill tomorrow. 42 million Americans who rely on that federal food assistance will be watching this vote very closely, David.
Rachel Scott on the Hill. Rachel, thank you. Tonight, the startling images that appear to show the operator of a packed commuter train in San Francisco falling asleep at the controls. Here's Melissa Adon.
Tonight, harrowing moments for these passengers on a San Francisco commuter train. Just after 8:30 a.m., security camera footage from September showing the operator appearing to doze off as the train accelerates down the tracks. That train exiting the Sunset Tunnel, nearing 50 miles per hour. Passengers unaware of what was happening, suddenly thrown side to side in the car. The driver apparently shaken awake, frantically trying to stop. But that train kept going, speeding past a stop with waiting commuters, barreling into that curve, nearly hitting an oncoming car before finally coming to a stop. That driver appearing to blame the incident on malfunctioning equipment.
I'm sorry, relax. We didn't crash.
But tonight, the city's transit officials confirming the cause was, quote, operator fatigue. David, one person said they suffered a concussion, and officials say that driver was pulled from operating trains. David.
Melissa Adon tonight. Melissa, thank you. Now to the Camp Mystic tragedy in Texas. Tonight, new lawsuits with disturbing claims against the owners of the camp. Families of some of the 27 girls and counselors who died now saying their deaths were entirely preventable. And what they now claim happened when counselors in those cabins began asking for help. Here's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, families of some of the 27 girls and counselors killed at Camp Mystic in those horrific Texas floods, filing multiple lawsuits alleging a disturbing timeline of inaction from camp operators in what they say was an entirely preventable tragedy. They claim on July 4th, when the Guadalupe River rose 26 feet, camp leaders ignored repeated weather warnings and failed to evacuate, ordering campers remain in their cabins for more than an hour while they instead worked to protect equipment. The lawsuit also alleges when counselors sounded the alarm asking for help, operators of the camp told the girls to, quote, put down towels, and only decided to evacuate the children after a gatekeeper in a separate building was washed away. Caitlin Bonner is one of the parents suing. She previously testified about the death of her daughter Lila.
This loss is one no parent should have to endure.
In a statement tonight, the attorney for Camp Mystic says these accusations contain misinformation they'll address in court. And while they empathized with the families, no adequate warning systems existed in the area. The camp says we continue to pray for the grieving families and ask for God's healing and comfort.
And David, despite these lawsuits, Camp Mystic has already announced plans to reopen next summer. David.
Trevor Ault reporting on this again tonight. Thank you, Trevor. This evening, the tributes pouring in for Oscar-nominated actress Sally Kirkland, best known for her roles in Anna and The Sting. Here's Matt Gutman now.
Sally Kirkland was a force on the big screen, instantly recognizable with her trademark blonde hair and larger-than-life personality. Her acting career spanning decades, from the stage to the big screen, with Kirkland appearing in more than 200 movies and guest starring in some of TV's biggest hits.
Barbara Healy? Yeah. Yeah, I'm Roseanne Connor.
Kirkland had supporting roles alongside Hollywood legends Paul Newman and Robert Redford in the 1973 classic The Sting.
Thanks for the big evening, hooker. Next time you want to spend $50 on me, mail it.
But it was 1987's Anna that earned Kirkland the Best Actress Oscar nomination.
Watch out, Thunder.
Kirkland also taking home the Golden Globe that year.
You have made my day, my week, my month, my year, my lifetime.
According to her agent, Kirkland passed away of natural causes this morning in hospice in Palm Springs. She was 84. In a statement today, her talent manager telling ABC News, Sally transcended time and space in her career. Her passion for the art of acting was contagious to all who worked with her, and regardless of the role, she gave it 1,000%.
Remembering Sally Kirkland tonight. Our thanks to Matt. When we come back, the new bridge just opened that has collapsed. The dramatic video showing it coming down and what led to this moment right here. Also tonight, the C-130 plane breaking apart in midair, falling from the sky. And the incredible rescue at sea. We have learned Americans among the passengers floating in the water and the rescue effort that followed. In a moment here. Tonight, dramatic images showing the moment a bridge collapsed just months after opening. Collapsing in southwest China, authorities say cracks in the mountainside triggered landslides. The bridge opened in September. It was closed to traffic at the time. The terrifying image, a C-130 cargo plane breaking apart in midair. The plane had just taken off from Azerbaijan, plummeting to the ground here. At least 20 on board, no survivors. When we come back here tonight, that incredible rescue at sea, Americans among the passengers floating in the water, and the rescue, you'll see it. To the index, the dramatic rescue at sea. 55 passengers, some of them Americans, rescued when their catamaran sank off the Dominican Republic. The catamaran set off from New York late last month. Everyone was saved. When we come back on this Veterans Day, we stand up for heroes. Bob Woodruff is here, and how you can help tonight.
ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, sponsored by Progressive.
Finally tonight here on this Veterans Day, we stand up for heroes. Tonight on this Veterans Day, we honor our nation's heroes, and we honor all of those who are determined to support them.
After seeing very few people in the first...
Among them, our friend Bob Woodruff, who you'll remember was badly injured by a roadside bomb while on assignment in Iraq in 2006. We remember that moment, his young children in bed with him.
You taught me, it's so great to be home.
His remarkable recovery. And for 19 years now, he and his wife Lee and Stand Up for Heroes, part of the annual New York Comedy Festival. We've been with them along the way, and we will never forget what Bob told us nearly a decade ago now. It was quite simple, and it was profound.
I mean, it's been the most satisfying thing I've ever done in my life.
The most satisfying thing he has ever done, helping these heroes. And last night, he and Lee on stage again.
I'm Bob Woodruff. This is my amazing wife, Lee.
Comedians, musicians, coming together. And right before going on stage,
Hey, David.
Hey, David, it's a couple hours to showtime.
Bob and Lee checking in with us.
This is the 19th year here, David. You've been here so many times from the very beginning. We never thought it was going to last this long. In some ways, it's sad that it's still needed so badly to help the veterans.
David, you're always covering kids on America Strong. So there are a lot of veteran kids out there in families, and we're looking for all the ways we can support these wonderful families who've served.
Among the families,
hey, David. Clint.
Army Major Clint Culver and his family from Clarksville, Tennessee, outside Nashville.
This whole entire deck and everything was completely underwater.
While Major Culver was deployed overseas earlier this year, his family's home back in Tennessee was hit with life-threatening floods twice.
This was completely wrecked, this whole garage.
His wife and 2 sons and their dog able to escape, but their home severely damaged.
The dehumidifier, the sub pump system, all of that had to be completely replaced twice.
The Culvers did not live in a flood zone. They did not have flood insurance. That's when the Bob Woodruff Foundation, along with Operation Stand Down Tennessee, stepped in to offer a lifeline, helping to pay for a hotel, helping to rebuild. But now the Culvers on stage saying thank you.
Money from the foundation meant that our family could get to be in one place and maintain some sort of normalcy.
And right here tonight,
hi, David.
Major Clint Culver and his wife, Denise.
I want them to see that their donations matter. And it's just a really good foundation that helped us, and I'm hoping that we can bring awareness to help other families, too.
We honor Major Culver and all of our veterans. The BobWoodruffFoundation.org to help. And our thanks to Bob and his amazing wife, Lee, as he says, and it's true. Good night.
David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the 3rd year in a row.